Hey guys, it's Maria. Today we're gonna do something a little different. Today we are actually in the kitchen and we are learning to make sauerkraut. It's a little different from my usual videos, but a friend requested it, so I'm gonna go ahead and comply. Ingredient list, all you really need is a nice head of cabbage and some salt. Oh, there goes a leaf of my cabbage. I like the pink Himalayan sea salt, but you can use whatever is your preference. As far as tools, you want a cutting board, a nice sharp knife, some sort of jar. I like the mason jars, and then a great big mixing bowl because you're gonna put a lot of cabbage in one bowl. All right, so first thing you wanna do is take your cabbage and remove the exterior leaves. I had one already fall out. Don't throw these leaves away though, because you're gonna keep them for later use. Once you discard your exterior leaves, once you remove your exterior leaves, you're gonna take a leaf and you're gonna cut it into a circle. You just want the circle to be able to fit on top of your mason jar. When you're done filling it with the mixture, this is gonna rest on top and we're gonna weigh it down. Oh, sorry, that's one more thing that you are gonna need. You're gonna need something to weigh the kraut down while it's fermenting. I like to use river rocks. We buy these at Home Depot in a big bag. Just scrub it really well and it should act as a nice hard weight. You can also use a small bowl. If you have one that's a little bigger than this, I mean a little smaller than this, it'll fit right on top. You just want something to give it weight so that the liquid will be able to rise, but the actual cabbage itself will be able to stay down. So keep this to the side. You're gonna use it later. Next thing you're gonna do is just take your cabbage and rough cut it. No big deal, no major skills involved here. You don't wanna do anything crazy. People even use their hands if they want sometimes. So I have my cabbage already cut. I'm gonna put this one away and bring a new one. So now with that great big bowl I told you about, you are going to start alternating cabbage and salt. There's a whole mathematical equation behind this, but honestly, my biggest rule of thumb is handful of cabbage, pinch of salt. And you're just gonna keep alternating in that same direction. I went ahead and put my salt in a smaller container because as much as I love this stuff, it takes me a while to sit there and grind it all up, and I didn't want you guys to have to watch me doing that forever. Oh, I did not cut this one very good. We're gonna remove these big giant round pieces for a second. And then, like I said, keep alternating. Handful of cabbage, pinch of salt. You're gonna see that little by little, this salt is going to start taking all the moisture out of the cabbage and you'll end up with a lot of liquid. That's the liquid that your sauerkraut is going to be fermenting in. I have a lot of people ask me what I add to my sauerkraut. Do I use vinegar? Is it just water? And I have to explain to them that it's its own process. The actual liquid comes from the cabbage itself, just removing its moisture. The salt's gonna start drawing it out. Once we've had all of our cabbage in this bowl, it's amazing how much one head of cabbage can grow. Once we have all of our cabbage in a bowl and our salt is on it, then we're gonna start working it like a massage. You're just gonna take your hands. Don't be afraid to get dirty today because it's gonna happen. I move this over just a little bit more so you can see it. You're just gonna take your hands and you're gonna work the cabbage in. It's gonna start getting softer, it's gonna start breaking down, and it's gonna start drawing out a lot of water. That's what you want. You wanna have a lot of water. That's what's gonna be your brine once it starts sitting in the bowl. Now you can see how much cabbage I have here. I want you to think about something. All of this has got to fit in the jar. That's another part of the breaking down process. You are going to squeeze it all in until it all fits nice and secure inside your glass jar. I obviously don't have enough salt here because I'm not drawing out as much moisture as I need to be. It's harder for me when I don't grind it on the cabbage while I'm doing it. I don't like having it already ground up. So I said keep massaging it. You're gonna keep working at it. It's gonna take a little while, but eventually it'll get to the point where it's really soft, and then you'll know it's time to start putting it in the jar. So I'm not gonna sit there and do this for a while because you guys are gonna get really annoyed at me. So I'm just gonna start putting handfuls in for right now so you can see the process. You're gonna start putting the kraut in the mason jar, and with your hand, I hope your hands are clean, you're starting to squish it down into the jar. Use your muscles. You'll see little by little, no, in another process, there should be a little bit of water coming out. So as you put it in and as you squeeze it out, the moisture itself should be coming out and the liquid should be forming right around the top of the cabbage. Like I said, you're fitting this whole entire bowl into this jar, and it looks mildly impossible. The first time I did it, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna shove all of this cabbage in such a small space, but somehow or another, it just sort of shrinks. You don't wanna fill it up too high. Remember, this is going to grow. It's going to start fermenting and building up gas, and you want to be able to not have it explode on you. All right, we're gonna do this just for right now, just for time's sake. But like I said, you wanna keep squeezing, keep pouring, keep pushing this down. Ultimately, you wanna fill it up till you have about 1 or 2 inches on the top. From there, you're going to take your round piece that you cut out, lay it right on top, lay your weight on top of that, and then just grab a lid. I like to secure my lid, just a mason jar, not a big deal. Secure my lid to the point where if I have to turn it, it's loose. The reason you're gonna do that is because you're gonna watch this. You're gonna keep this in your pantry, and little by little, the liquid will start coming up. Once the bubbles start coming through and going closer to the top, all you're gonna do is reach in, grab your jar and release the air. You'll hear it. It'll be like a gas sound of shh. The air will come out of the jar itself. You wanna do this for about, I do about 7 weeks. You'll see, that'll get to the point where it'll stop being active. The bubbles will start coming to the top and it will all be about the same. I'm gonna show you, sorry, I'm gonna rinse my hands. I'm gonna show you one that I just pulled out of my pantry, but it's been there for a while, so I'm gonna forewarn you, it got a little dried out. So this is a jar that had been in my pantry for a while. What you're gonna do once your sauerkraut is complete, see the change of color too? I like this nice yellowish color. It's gonna change from green to yellow. Oh, that smells so good. You're just gonna take your rock out. I reuse these, so I just rinse them and keep them aside somewhere. You're gonna take your large exterior leaf out. There should be a little more liquid in here. See, I told you that I had done it incorrectly. You can see the liquid when I pour it to the side, but the liquid should always be on top of the cabbage. That's what keeps it from drying out. I just put the top right back on and I'll put this in the refrigerator for later use. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Bye.